Special Weather News Bulletin, late September 2025. Good evening, and welcome to today's special weather forecast. We bring you the latest updates on meteorological conditions that are and will be directly affecting the lives, livelihoods, and safety of millions of people across the United States, as well as vast areas of the Atlantic Basin. Now entering the peak of hurricane season, the weather picture over the coming days is extremely complex. Across the U.S. mainland, extreme heat is returning, spreading widely, with unusually high temperatures across the Midwest and Great Lakes region expected to exceed 37 to 38 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. At the same time, rounds of severe thunderstorms, dangerous wind gusts, and large hail are anticipated. Meanwhile, over the Atlantic Ocean, tropical waves continue streaming in from West Africa into the main development region, MDR, with several showing signs of cyclonic organization and potential to become storms within the next 7 to 10 days. As for Tropical Storm Gabrielle, although it has weakened significantly after encountering dry air and wind shear aloft, if the system holds its structure while approaching Bermuda, there remains a possibility of re-intensification. Taken together, both land and ocean are entering a highly uncertain and risky period for people and economies alike. Across the United States, in recent days, the Central Plains and Midwest have reported repeated rounds of severe thunderstorms, with some locations seeing large hail and wind gusts over 90 km per hour, 55 miles per hour. The main cause is a new trough pushing inland from the west coast, drawing moist air northward from the Gulf of Mexico. This warm, moist air collides with cooler air aloft, sparking strong storm clusters. At the same time, a strengthening high-pressure system across Texas and the plains is pumping hot, dry westerly and southwesterly winds northward. Forecasts show states such as Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, and even southern Minnesota will face an intense heat wave over the next few days, with highs surpassing 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius, some 8 to 10 degrees Celsius above normal for late September. This is highly unusual for a time of year that typically trends toward cooler, autumn-like conditions. Residents are urged to limit outdoor activity between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m., stay hydrated, and take precautions against heat stroke. Elderly people, children, and those with chronic illnesses should be especially careful. In the southwest and along the Rockies, the concern shifts to severe thunderstorms. Moisture drawn westward from the Gulf, lifted over mountainous terrain, is generating massive thunderclouds. Colorado, New Mexico, Wyoming, and the Dakotas are forecast to see strong storms through the weekend, with risks of damaging winds, large hail, and even isolated tornadoes. Meteorologists warn of training storm bands that may cause flash flooding in steep terrain. These systems will gradually shift eastward, threatening Nebraska, Minnesota, and much of the Midwest early next week. Residents are urged to follow National Weather Service alerts closely. In the Southeast and Florida, late summer weather patterns remain in place, hot days followed by evening thunderstorms. Heavy downpours may quickly flood urban areas such as Miami and Fort Lauderdale, while waterspouts, small tornadoes over water, may occasionally develop offshore. Officials stress that even without an organized tropical storm, local thunderstorms can still inflict damage and pose safety risks. Turning to the Atlantic, Tropical Storm Gabrielle is under close watch. Satellite imagery shows its structure has become ragged, with the center difficult to define, as it battles widespread dry air and upper-level shear. Many experts now consider it a weakly organized disturbance. However, the National Hurricane Center continues to classify Gabrielle as a tropical storm, with sustained winds around 50 miles per hour. Current tracks take it toward Bermuda. If it survives intact and moves into a warmer, moister environment, it could re-strengthen into a hurricane early next week. Residents of Bermuda should remain vigilant and prepare for possible impacts. Alongside Gabrielle, multiple tropical waves are marching westward from Africa. Over the next 7 to 10 days, the MDR will be repeatedly seeded with new systems. While some waves will dissipate under dry air or shear, others could consolidate into tropical depressions and storms. This is why late September and early October are often regarded as the true peak of hurricane season. Even waves that do not intensify can unleash heavy rainfall across the Caribbean, Bahamas, and Gulf of Mexico. Meteorologists warn of homegrown systems, storms that form suddenly close to land, often with little lead time for warnings. Rainfall outlooks are sobering. Much of the Caribbean faces flooding threats. Puerto Rico, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands may see 100 to 200 millimeters of rain in coming days. Steep terrain, deforestation, and fragile soils put Haiti and the Dominican Republic at high risk of flash floods and landslides. The Bahamas and South Florida could receive 50 to 100 millimeters or more, while parts of Central America, including Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Costa Rica, and Panama, face 150 to 300 millimeters, likely leading to dangerous flooding as rivers already run high from previous storms. The 10-day outlook shows persistent extreme heat across the Midwest and Great Lakes through the next 5 to 7 days, with ongoing severe storm risks in the Rockies and Dakotas. From days 7 to 10, models increasingly signal heightened tropical cyclone activity across the Atlantic and Caribbean. Meanwhile, the U.S. remains under heat stress, though the first hints of cooler Canadian air may slip southward, offering slight relief. Overall, the nation faces a two-faced weather picture: brutal heat and storms on land, and dangerous tropical threats offshore. In conclusion, the U.S. now confronts an unusually unsettled late September, hazardous heat and storms inland, and a volatile Atlantic basin poised to generate more storms. We will continue to track developments closely, bringing timely and accurate updates so that everyone can prepare effectively. Thank you for watching this special weather bulletin. Stay safe, take care, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next report.